An 8-time Pro Bowler, Hall of Fame linebacker, and the heart of the Chicago Bears defense for over a decade.
Picked off by Urlacher. Brian Urlacher.
Brian Urlacher was known for reading offenses like a book.
What a catch!
Two pillars of my life are family and football.
It's okay to come out and say you're conservative. Don't be scared anymore. It's a lot more cool now to be conservative.
Like, I don't care anymore. People are gonna get mad at me. I'm tired of all this, putting this dude down. All he's doing is trying to help our country. Trump will come in and fix everything because he don't give a shit.
We live in a country with freedom of speech, but only one side really is allowed to have the freedom of speech.
The kneeling for the anthem to me, I don't know if I would have been able to be on team when guys did that.
But off the field, he's been making headlines for something else, the courage to speak his mind.
But what Trump is doing right now is exactly what I want him to do. Get rid of everyone who's not supposed to be here. As a conservative, when you come out conservative, people are going to come back at you.
Put your chin strap on. The monster of the midway is here.
Why you quiet? It's time to stand up for the truth. And they coming for our kids, so who gon' stand up for the youth? Ay, and we know we win because Yeshua is the proof. Ay, we the people like Garcia, so that's no excuse.
Today on We the People, we've got a man who needs no introduction to football fans or true Americans. An 8-time Pro Bowler, Hall of Fame linebacker, and the heart of the Chicago Bears defense for over a decade. Brian Urlacher was known for reading offenses like a book, delivering hits that shook stadiums, and being one of the toughest guys in the league. But off the field, he's been making headlines for something else, the courage to speak his mind. He wasn't vocal about politics when he played, but in recent years, he stepped into the arena, openly supporting President Trump, calling out the NFL's wokeness and saying what a lot of athletes are too afraid to say. That takes guts in today's climate. And he's not just talking football or politics, he's talking about America, values, and the kind of country we're leaving our kids with. We're going to get into all of it, politics and sports, the assassination of Charlie Kirk, and what's happening in the NFL and beyond. And of course, the world's most famous hair transplant. This isn't just about football, it's about faith, family, and freedom, and how all of this weaves together in the life of one of the toughest linebackers to ever play the game. Put your chin strap on. The monster of the midway is here. What's up, Brian?
That was a good introduction there. Could have done without the hair part, but it's pretty
good.
Good.
Look, man, what do you have against bald people? I mean, I wear this thing like a badge of honor.
Bro, I know I used to do the same thing, but I got it now, so I still wear hats every day. But
you paid a lot for that thing, and you come on here with a hat on.
I got it for free, bro. I'm the spokesman for the company, so I got it for free.
I might reconsider things.
You got a good
shaped
head. And you look good bald. And you can grow. See, I didn't grow a beard when I was bald. I wish I would have, because I might have liked myself a little more then. But you look tough like that, so keep it.
Love that, man. All right, cool. Appreciate that.
Yep.
All right, so I usually kind of start with the personal background story of the guests and all that. I mean, you're very well known. We'll get into a little bit of that at the end, but I think what you're doing now, currently, kind of speaks volumes to a place where we should just start the episode. So, what's interesting is you weren't vocal about politics during your career. I'm going to ask you a little bit about that later, but you've sort of come out and said, I'm a President Trump supporter. Can you talk us through that journey? And was there like an aha moment where you finally said, I'm here, I'm proud to say it?
You know, I was, like you said, I was never into politics. I didn't care. I mean, I grew up in New Mexico, in the southern part of New Mexico where oil is big. People work for a living, so it's pretty conservative. But I didn't know whether I was a Democrat or Republican because it didn't really matter. Our state was always going to be blue, just because people in the North voted blue, and that's where everyone lives. So that's the way it was going to be. But man, when I retired from football, that's when everything started going on. The kneeling for the anthem, there's just a lot of things I did not agree with. I would have had a hard time playing in the climate after I retired. I'll say that, because the kneeling for the anthem to me, that would have been really tough. I don't know if I would have been able to be on team when guys did that, but. President Trump, I like Trump, man. Going back to that thing, I like what he stands for. I like what he says. He says what he means, and he usually does what he says he's going to do. And especially this term, because I don't think the first one maybe he was feeling out a little bit, but this term it's balls to the wall, get things done, turn this country back around the way it was, going the direction when he was president the first time. But when he lost the second election, I think that was actually good, and I'll tell you why. Because he didn't have the Senate or the House, I don't believe, and now he's got them both, so he can get things done, push things through. Still, just some resistance, obviously, from those guys on the left, but for the most part, he gets his stuff done, and it's easier, and he knows what to do. I'm not saying it's great he lost, because our country went through some pretty tough times when those 4 years when Beijing Biden was in there, but he's coming back now and fixing them all, making them better. But yeah, I've always been a fan of his. Not so much when he was on TV and all that stuff, but I played golf with him a couple times. I just like the way he talks, I like the stories he tells. He's a fun guy, and he's honest, or he does what he says he's going to do for the most part.
Promises made, promises kept. You got any good
Yeah.
golf stories from playing with 47?
Man, he hits it good. He's 79 years old. I played with him 2 years ago, and then again last year. He hits the ball good. It's amazing because I hope I live to be 79. And this dude's playing golf at his age and hitting it good. Doesn't hit it super far, but he hits it solid, straight. Putts good. It's amazing. On the first hole, he hit 2 balls, and mind you, there's 8,000 people on the golf course because there's a Secret Service everywhere. There's boats in the ocean everywhere. So there's 30 people up in the fairway, and he hits his ball left. I'm like, ooh, that's probably out of bounds. Hits another one, kind of the same direction. I hit mine pretty good down the middle. We get up there, I'm like, man, he's ahead of me. That was a good shot. I guess must have hit something or whatever in the fairway. And this happens all day. Somehow his ball ends up in the fairway in front of you somehow every hole.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
But,
Must be nice with your friends
man,
walking the course 150 yards in front of you.
You want to keep him out of those woods, though. I understand our future president. You want to keep him out of the woods. You don't want to put him in danger anyway. So his ball is always in the middle of the fairway and always ahead of mine. It was pretty awesome.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
So, I've always thought there's got to be more athletes that think like you and have the values that you share and support him, whether they're sort of out or not. And to me, so many of the values he represents are the values that we see in sports: resilience, courage, toughness, unapologetic about your craft. When you look at your football career and your personal values compared to what Donald Trump represents, where does the Venn diagram meet in the middle? What's similar?
Well, you said the working thing. I busted my ass when I played because President Trump sleeps like 3 hours a night. The dude never stops. I mean, I didn't do that. I need my sleep. He's different in that aspect where he can just go. But the work he puts in and the effort he puts in to try and fix things and make this country better, I think is comparable to what you have to do on football to try and get better every day, to try and get better at your craft and better your career. But just the work ethic he has for our country, I feel like to make us better is very comparable to what you have to do for football to get better every day and not get passed by somebody else.
Yeah, football to me is sort of the sport that best represents America: toughness, hard work, and learning how to win, learning how to lose, comebacks, overtime, all that sort of stuff.
Exactly. You're going to get smacked down. You're going to get ran over. You're going to get beat up, and that's just the way it goes. Just like the media does to him. They always try and put him down. Football, same way. You're going to get ran over sometimes. You're going to make mistakes. Got to learn from them and get better.
So, Brian, I won't ask you to mention any names, but I know that you have friends that are all still current athletes and certainly former athletes. I mean, is there a large contingency of players out there that are silent Trump supporters, or let's just not even say Trump, just conservatives?
Yeah.
And why aren't they speaking out more? What is causing the fear? The fear of the backlash? And what do you think has to happen for these players to feel more comfortable coming out?
I think just the fear of the backlash they'll get. Social media is crushed. I mean, you get these people. I'm bringing some of the comments on after Charlie was assassinated. In these comments, people are saying good. They're applauding this guy for doing it. Just as a conservative, when you come out conservative, people are going to come back at you. That's just the way it is. With the way the world is now, the landscape of things. But there are a lot of people that are conservative and just don't say anything. Then you have to keep your mouth shut, especially in the NFL, other sports. And if you work on TV, you have to be quiet about it, right? Unless you're on certain networks, you pretty much have to be quiet. If you're on like a sports guy and you calling games or whatever, you have to be. You have to keep it quiet because they don't want the conservatives on there, or they don't want people to know you're conservative. So it's tough, but I mean, I think it's better for people to know what you are, to be honest with yourself. This is what I am. This is what I represent. If you don't like it, don't hire me. And I understand that's hard to say for some people because they need that job. I get it. But I was at a point, 6-8 years ago where I was like, I don't care anymore. People are going to get mad at me. They can get pissed off. I don't really care. I'm tired of all this people hiding and putting this dude down. And all he's doing is trying to help our country.
Have you had players reach out to you and basically say, dude, thank you for speaking out? Like, you're saying some things that I'd want to say. Because we do talk about the media. It really frustrates me that, we live in a country with freedom of speech, but only one side really is allowed to have the freedom of speech to promote the values that they want to promote. But I do also see, certainly in my world, it's a little different in sports, but with all these digital platforms now, the mainstream media doesn't really have the chokehold on the wokeness that they used to, because so many voices are able to be lifted up on platforms like this or Daily Wire or Blaze or whatever. But I mean, do athletes come and talk to you and be like, dude, I agree?
A lot more disagrees than agree. I'll tell you that much. I do get a lot of, and then when they see me in person at these tournaments or whatever, because I always wear America hat or Trump on the side of my hat. I always wear those. I want people to know where I stand if they don't. And then the crazy thing is, like, I'll say this: when I played, I figured this out after I retired, and people figured out I was conservative. You have teammates and you have friends, if that makes sense. So the people who I thought were my friends on my team were not my friends; they were my teammates. And I figured that out over the last 8-10 years. They're acquaintances and they're guys I spent some time with in the locker room for 8, 9, 10 years. Same guys that were really good friends when I played, but once they found out I was conservative and supported Trump, that was it. They're done. It's okay for them to support Obama and Biden. That's okay. I'm not going to be I'm not going to unfriend them. But if I'm supporting Trump and standing for what we stand for, that's not okay. They can't be my friend. They're not friends anyway. They were teammates or acquaintances, whatever you want to call them. But my friend circles got really tight. It's been really nice the last few years just to kind of know who I can lean on and who I can turn to for things.
I've had the same exact experience with this show. I mean, once I started this show, a lot of people that I thought were my friends were just not teammates,
Yeah.
but acquaintances, to use your word. And I mean, it's sad that like we just can't live in a country right now where people can disagree on things. Charlie Kirk, that was his platform, was disagreement, open debate.
Debate.
Somewhere in the middle of all this is truth. And if we don't talk to one another, like we will never find the truth. Go ahead.
Well, Gates, we can. So they can't deal with us. We can. I mean, if we don't agree with their politics, it's okay. I'll still be their friend. I don't mind. It doesn't run my life. But for them, it's like a line breaker. No, I can't be your friend if you're conservative. You support Trump or Charlie Kirk. I'm done with you. I can't be your friend. I'm like, dude, what is wrong with you? I mean, because I've lost a lot of friends because of that. But I mean, you go the other way, and we'll still. I have Democrats I have friends that are Democrats. I don't care. I just don't want to talk about it with you. But we can still be friends. But for them, it's a line in the sand. Can't be your friend.
That's what I love about sports, is like it used to be the arena where we could go in and like nobody talked about politics and we were just going to root for the
Yes.
same team or root against each other, but politics has to get thrown in anything. I will say, to emphasize your point, I have never cut off a friend that has different political views from me, but I have been cut off by many
Yes.
friends, or air
It's a
quote
one-way
friends,
street.
that
Yeah, it's a one-way
it,
street
it,
on
a-
that for
it
that one.
absolutely is.
Yeah.
So, part of the goal of this show is trying to overcome some of this stuff and bring more people, more conservatives out of the shadows. I mean, do you think athletes should be political? Now, I mean, we feel on the right like we should be more political because we're playing from such a disadvantage as to
Media.
our opponents and the
Yeah.
media. But just in general, do you think athletes should be political or just stick to sports? And then let me ask you, you mentioned that you didn't really have your political beliefs shaped in the prime of your playing career, but let's assume you did. Let's
Yeah.
assume you're in the 5th year, prime of your career right now. You have these values. You're a Trump voter. Would you be vocal?
I believe so. I mean, if you believe strongly in something, I think you should be. It's easy for me to say now. Easy because I'm done. It's easy for me to say that right now. But there are some guys in the NFL who are pretty vocal about where they stand with this. They are on the right side. But there's a lot of guys, though, you have no idea. But then you see Trump at the Super Bowl, and you see all these guys going up to him, giving. I mean, he is the president of the United States. I get it. But then you're like, man, maybe they are a little lean our way. And I don't even care which way you lean, as long as you have common sense and you can like have dialogue with people, because the dialogue is gone. You can't talk to anyone. Or I'm sorry, our side's okay to have conversations, but I feel like they won't even listen to our side. They won't talk to us. They won't. I shouldn't use that. I'm just some people on the far left. You can't have a conversation with them. I don't mind having a conversation. You're not going to change my point of view. I'll listen to what you have to say. I respect it, but I'm not going to change the way you're not going to change my mind, and I'm probably not going to change yours either. But it's okay to have that dialogue. But go back to your question. Sorry, man. I got off some tangents there.
No, just about, we were talking about, if you were playing today, how vocal would you be? And do you think politics should be in sports? Like, for instance, if you're an open conservative, do you think, and I'm not going to answer the question for you because I can make the argument both ways. I mean, it's easy for me to be like, oh, I get pissed off when all the woke athletes speak their values, and so let's get politics out of sports. But that's at the same time, it's like, well, I'm a conservative. I love my country. I love God. I love being a dad. I love faith, family, and freedom. Like, why shouldn't I? If I have a platform of millions, I'm the starting middle linebacker for the Chicago Bears. Why shouldn't I leverage that platform to shine true, good, and beautiful things onto the world?
Totally agree with you. Yeah, I mean, you should be able to speak your mind. I believe I would. In this landscape, if it was the same way when I played, I believe I would stand where I'm at now and say what I thought. I was never, and it's easy to do that when you play well, right? If you're playing good and you're doing things that you should be doing on the field, you can do that stuff. When you're not playing well, or when maybe you're a fringe guy, I can see why you'd be quiet about it, or just, make people think you're a certain direction because it's easier that way, you know? So, but I believe I would be very vocal about it, especially because people kind of make you choose now, you know, there's, and in sports, it was never part of the game when I played. I mean, we didn't deal with that stuff. It was football. Like you said, it was, you go to work, you do your thing, and you don't worry about politics. Those were decided away from the football field. And now it's thrown in your face. Well, you look at the football, you know, the end zone says, you know, all the things, the back of the helmets have labels on them now, and they
It
say
takes all of us, Brian. It takes all of us.
Yeah, it takes end racism. It takes all of us. I'm like, why can't we just have the names in the end zone and do that, or the BLM on the back of their helmets? I'm like, what? What if you want to put something else on the back? And there's literally like 3 slogans you can put on your helmet the NFL gives you to choose from, or you have Bears on the back. You can't choose something else, you know, because there would be something else on the back of my helmet if they let us choose whatever we wanted to write on there. So it's pretty one-sided, but I do believe I would be pretty outspoken if I was playing in today's landscape of politics.
Hey guys, it's Gates. Thanks for tuning in. I'm asking you to like, share, and subscribe to the show. I hear that all the time when I watch and listen to podcasts. And now that I have a show, I know the difference that it makes. It really does boost us in the algorithm. And the better we do in the algorithm, the better guests we're going to get, the better content we're going to be able to produce. This show is not mine, it's yours. So in a way, you're helping yourself. So please like, share, and subscribe, and God bless. And putting your team name on the back of your helmet is a unifying thing. So that should probably be the only option.
Just do that.
All the other slogans just divide us. I just wrote a piece for the Daily Wire about how this country needs another September 12th. I mean, you know, you remember after September 11th, 2001, like this country has never been tighter, more unified. We were talking about politics. We were talking about patriotism. Like everybody was a patriot on that day. And I don't want another 9/11. I think Charlie Kirk, obviously, we're going to talk about that in a minute, has created a little bit of this momentum that way. But there are so many more things that unite us than divide us. I want to ask you sort of one more question in this vein. Are you hearing about locker rooms and politics? Like, could politics divide a locker room, or do players just say, look, once we get out on the field, he's throwing me the ball, I'm tackling him, or whatever?
You can't do it in the locker room. You know, there's so many. Football's hard enough as it is, and you're all working for the same. But I think you have to leave it at the door. And I think players have done a good job of that, from what I can understand. Over the last couple of years, you just can't, and the head coaches have a bigger job too, because they have to leave. They have to make sure that doesn't get in the locker room as well. And if a guy wants to wear a MAGA hat, let him wear a MAGA hat. If a guy wants to wear a BLM hat, let him wear a BLM hat. You know, in the locker room, it shouldn't matter. Or maybe just make it all your team gear. You know, that way you put only team gear allowed in the facility. Once you get there, you change into your team gear. That's all you wear. There's no issues about it. You may not know where a guy stands, and he shouldn't be a discussion.
So let's now talk about Charlie Kirk, who, as of the recording of this episode about a week and a half ago, was assassinated. And, you know, I think that there's been some nasty, ugly reactions to this, but I would say overwhelmingly, this has brought about a lot of good in this country. There was over 100 million streams for his memorial service. And to hear, as a Catholic, as a Christian, to hear so many elected leaders talk openly about their faith. I mean, J.D. Vance said, look, I've talked more about my faith in the last 2 weeks than I have in the last 20 years. I think that revival is the right word. Obviously, turning point's the easy one to use, but I think it's created a revival. What's your reaction to just the whole situation with Charlie Kirk?
It's been an awakening. I feel like, you know, I'm watching Instagram now, and I'm watching people posting videos who said, you know, I haven't been to church in 10 years, but I'm going to go sit in Charlie Kirk's seat today at church for him. I'm like, oh, wow. And I saw, I'm not kidding, 100 of those videos on my feed. I'm just watching. I'm getting teary-eyed watching this, because it's awakening, man. It's a good thing. And I'm not as religious as I should be. I do go to church when we can, and I'm not where I should be. But who is, according to Charlie Kirk, who is? No one is, and he wasn't even where he was supposed to be if you'd ask him. So we all fall short in what he says. But it's been an amazing awakening. What's happened? It's sad. Obviously, it's pretty sad. But just to see this country come together, for the most part, people, just the things I've seen people saying and doing has been pretty amazing. And then you go the other way, there's some very vile things as well that people have said, which I don't understand why, you want to desecrate a guy who, all he wanted was dialogue. All he wanted to do was talk about it and maybe have a conversation. I saw a thing, the guy from CNN, I don't don't watch CNN, but Van Jones, I saw a thing on my feed popped up, and he talked about him and Charlie Kirk were going back and forth on social media. And Charlie Kirk goes, come to my show. Let's have, what was the word he used? Something dialogue. He was like, he tried, even though up to that was the day before Charlie got shot. So he's tried to have dialogue with me, and I'm not his friend. I'm his probably his mortal enemy, but he wanted to have dialogue with me to try and figure out if we can find some common ground. Just amazing what he tried to do, and people didn't like the language he was using.
Yep, yep. It's interesting when free speech is welcomed and when it's not.
Yes.
But let's talk a little football, man.
Yep.
So Brian, you were like the human hammer, man. I was telling you off air that I've been a Bucs fan my whole life. It goes back to the NFC Central days where you played the
Yes.
first 2 years of your career. I mean, I've seen a lot of you play ball in person, man, and it was, I mean, the stadium shook when you were running around the middle of the field. I mean, you're one of the toughest guys to ever play the game. So, I mean, where did that come from? That doesn't happen overnight. That's forged in childhood. That's forged in your teen years. I mean, talk to me a little bit about growing up and what made you the man you are.
Number one, I love football. I love being on the field. I love being out there with my teammates. I love being practice, weight room. I just love being around football. I love the locker. I love my coaches. But I grew up in the oil field in New Mexico, man. So my parents went to work every day, 5:30 or 6. My dad would leave the house at 5:30. My mom would take us to school. Then she would go to work at the youth center or the grocery store, whichever one she was doing. We worked. So I saw that at a young age. I saw what it took to try and stay successful, try to run a family. You know, it was actually my stepdad, my real dad. My mom got divorced when I was young. But when they got married, I saw what it was like to work. And I damn sure didn't want to do that when I grew up. Didn't mean knew I was going to get out of there. But I just love football, man. I was taught at a young age what it takes to be successful if you want to be a good football player, and that's just work hard. My brother was the same way. We were in the weight room from 7th grade till we got out of high school. We loved the weight room. It helped me tremendously, helped him tremendously. I had great coaches in high school, and I just kept getting better and better and better, man. The bigger I got, the faster I got. I was very fortunate in that aspect because the weight room helped me be explosive.
How has the game changed since you played, and has it changed for better or worse? And could you play your style of football in today's NFL?
I don't like the way the game's going. I watch kickoff and I'm like, what is this? What is this new rule? I don't understand why they're lining up. But I think I could still play today. If now at peak Brian, not right now. I mean, towards the end of my career, I was not peak Brian. So running wise and being able to things I could do athletically when I was in my prime, for sure I could play. But the guys are smaller now. You look at the linebackers; they're 6'1", 220. I was 6'4", 255 when I played. So it's different. It's all about speed now and running. The running game is so different. They throw little flare screens. They run. I don't understand the turnaround. Just get the ball, got the ball. There's no lead blocker. There's nothing. It's weird to me. I watch these offenses. They're like, and the college just turn around and hand the guy the ball and I go find a place to run. There's really no hole. Just figure out where we're gonna go, bro. But it's a different game. It's not as physical, but I understand the safety precautions as well. I don't particularly like it, but we have to protect the players to some extent. But I just don't like that we're not protecting defensive players as well. When a running back's running at you and lowers his head, that's targeting. Why is it okay? I saw some guy do it the other night in a game, and he literally hit the defensive player right in the chest, and it was okay because they hit him in the chest. But I wish they would show the same kind of compassion for defense as they do for the offensive guys. I understand people want to see points scored. I get it, but defensive players are out there trying as well.
You took the words out of my mouth. I mean, the game has evolved to favor the offense in such a big way. I mean, the more points, I guess, the more glitz and glamour and all that. But I mean, old school defensive football. I mean, the term defense wins championships isn't used like it was used when I was growing up. I played small time college football, but I played fullback. And I mean, we ran ISO after ISO after ISO. And for people that are listening that don't know what that is, that means I get in a 3-point stance. I find Brian Urlacher on the other side of the line of scrimmage. As hard as I possibly can. Yes. And we would run 40 of those just in practice every day. And I mean, I joke with my friends all the time. I have 3 little kids, and you know, they ask me what position I played, and I say fullback, and they don't know what that is. And then you bring up the kickoff, man. One thing I didn't tell you off air was when y'all, I didn't want to bring it up, but when y'all played the Colts in the Super Bowl, I was there. And I had end zone seats, and I got to see the Devin Hester kickoff return for a touchdown. Like,
which
as
end
it
zone?
developed,
Were you in the one he started?
He was running away from me, so I saw the whole thing develop. I remember tapping my dad like 10 yards in. I'm like, he's gone.
Yep.
And we just don't see that anymore. They've just changed the game so much and taken some really important elements out of it that made football a special game. I get player safety, but they're also making tons of changes with the pads and the helmets and all that.
We sign up for this, by the way. If you play football, you're going to get hurt. That's what we sign up for. We understand that as players, that if you jump on that field, and that's what my son plays college football. I was like, dude, no matter how long you play, it's a matter of when and how bad you're going to get hurt. You're going to get hurt. That's the way it's going to be. Just a matter of when and how bad. And so we understand that as players. But I understand the precautions. I'm just not a huge fan The targeting thing in college drives me crazy. When a guy gets ejected from a game, why? I mean, and sometimes they can't change direction in a quarter of a second when they hit these guys. It's a big impact on games. It drives me crazy, and they flag them. It's dumb.
I've had multiple football players on this show, even quarterbacks, and number one issue every one of them has with the new style of football is the targeting penalties and the fact that you're ejected from the game for moving your head 1 inch this way or 1 inch that way. It affects the game. I mean, a penalty is a penalty, an ejection's an ejection. But you bring up your son, so Kennedy playing ball at USC. I saw he got his first sack recently. What's it like to kind of see this whole thing come full circle and see your kid playing college football at a prime time program?
Well, he was at Notre Dame last year, so he started out at Notre Dame, went to a national championship, and then he didn't get the opportunity he wanted to do in the spring, so he transferred to USC, closer to home, much better for us, so super easy to get to. It's been great to see, man, just the work ethic he has. He doesn't want things given to him because of his last name. He wants to earn it. He doesn't want to be out there, my last name's Urlacher, that's the opposite of what he wants. He wants to be out there to earn his time on the field, earn his scholarship, whatever it may be, earn his NIL. He wants to be the guy that did it because of him, not because of his last name. He's done that. He has a good last name for football, but he's done a good job of doing things on his own.
So one fun question, and then I'll get you out of here on a more broader one. I'd like to take a stab at the answer of this before you answer it. I'm going to ask you, who was the toughest running back to play against? And I mean to bring down, to tackle, and all that.
Okay.
Just because of the amount of times you played against him, and he's just the nature of him, I'm gonna probably lean Adrian Peterson.
Great answer, or great choice. Not my answer, but Adrian's probably number 2 or 3 because he wasn't in our division. We played him twice a year. He's a pain in the ass, I'll tell you that much. The dude basically hit the hole at full speed every time he got the ball, and he's a 4.3. He was unbelievable, and he ran so hard. I want to go with the guy you probably not, Ricky Williams. I'm gonna tell you why. Ricky Williams is 5'10", 240. 4'4", 4'3". I'm 6'4". I can't get under Ricky. And I probably played him 5 or 6 times. Man, we had some good collisions. I think he had 215 yards on a Monday night versus us in Miami on a Monday night. It was very embarrassing. But Ricky to me was a beast. Jerome Bettis. I mean, I've been ran over by a lot of guys, but Jerome was a tough one. I don't think I played against him twice, but Ricky to me, because he was so fast and so short and so thick. I mean, he was tough, man. He was tough for me to get a hold of.
The only guy missing on that list is Allstott, man.
Well, I was going to bring up Mike earlier. Mike's a badass. I love playing against Mike. I didn't love it. You talk about the ISOs. They would put him at the tailback. They'd have 2 fullbacks. They'd put another guy at fullback and put Mike at tailback, and they run that damn power on 3rd and 1, 4th and 1. You're not going to stop Mike Allstott.
We had Lorenzo Neal for 2 years, and they'd put him in front of Mike Allstott. And so I'll tell you, it's a funny story. So last week, a couple days ago, when we played the Jets for our home opener, we wore the old school creamsicles and all that. I saw
you almost tricked that game off.
I know. It's frustrating. We call that buck ball. They try to lose games. But they brought back 150 legends. So they brought back Bucs players from every year going back to 1976. And you're talking about, they put Gruden on the screen. They put Sapp and Brooks and Barber on the screen. They put Mike Allstott on the screen. And it was the longest, loudest ovation in the stadium. I mean, he just had a way to connect with fans. And going back to fullbacks, like, we're not going to see another Mike Allstott.
Juszczyk's the closest you got, but Juszczyk's that dude catches everything. He's blocking, he's catching, he can line up in the slot. He's not a true fullback, but he is.
No, we need to bring back the neck rolls, Brian.
I know.
Neck rolls.
Mike Allstott should be in the Hall of Fame. I don't understand what the holdup is. You see all these guys getting in, maybe because they don't label as a true fullback because he played a lot of tailback as well. I don't know, but that dude was a badass. I like playing against Mike. I'm glad. That was the one thing I was glad about when we moved out of that division and then moved them to the NFC South, because I had to play him twice a year anymore. He was a monster. I loved him. He was great.
All right, man, I'll get you out of here on this. So, you're retired. 1, I want to hear what you're up to. But 2, I mean, you don't have to be out here having these conversations and promoting your politics and your values. Is there a political future for Brian Urlacher?
No, there's no political future. I think it's important to talk about it, especially from, like you said, my platform, and see that it's okay to be conservative. I just want people to have conversations about it and maybe try to understand our side if you're not even open to it, or even people who are on our side. It's okay to come out and say you're conservative. Don't be scared anymore. It's a lot more cool now to be conservative with the way things are going. I'll say that. You see the guys doing the Trump dance in the end zones now when they make plays. I love seeing that last year when the guys are making plays. But Yeah, I enjoy doing stuff like this. Honestly, I like meeting new people. And what am I doing now? I'll tell you what I'm doing today. So I worked out this morning. My workout consists of, I'm such a bum. So I work out, I get up and I go outside and work out first of all, I pick up donkey poop and we have donkeys and we have some animals, pick up all the poop in the yard. And then I lift for 20 minutes, maybe, if it's even a lift. I just don't want to get fat. And then I ride the Peloton for 30, 45 minutes, jump in the sauna for 30 minutes, and then I jump in the cold tub. And today I'm actually painting. This whole last week, all I've been doing is construction. My wife won't hire anyone. She wants me to do it. So we built a gym out back, like a barn dominion thing, gym. You seen those? Anyway, so we built one of those, but guess who gets to do the inside work? Me and her dad. Her dad flew down, so we did all the sheetrock. And then did all the mudding. I've never done this before, so I don't know how to do it. So he's telling me we did the mudding, the sanding, and today I get to paint. Yeah,
Sounds like
it's amazing.
glorious
But there's usually
retirement.
a lot of golf, 5 days a week of golf, and I'll do my workout.
You're playing 5 days a week?
Yeah, at least 5 days. I live in Arizona, so there's
Yeah.
great golf here. And then I love fishing, dude. So we come. I told you we have a place in Florida. I try and get to Florida once a month if I can. And we get out on the water and just fish for 2 or 3 days. What's cool now is my kids, my oldest is 24. I have 24, 21, 20. And when they get their spring breaks or their breaks, they want to go to Florida. They want to meet me in Florida and they want to go fishing on the boat. It's the greatest thing ever. So we're offshore 100 miles, no phones. We're eating, we're having fun listening to music. It's just it's my favorite thing to do with them because I have them right there. There's no phones. We're all in this little, our boat's 42 feet long. Can't go anywhere. It's just stuck with me. So and when they invite me to go on their spring breaks with them, I'm a yes every time. I really appreciate when they do that.
Faith, family, freedom, and fishing, man. That's
right. That's a good one.
That's
Football.
a good life,
And football.
brother. And football, man.
Yeah,
The
throw some
5S.
football
That's
in
all
there,
we need
yeah.
in life.
That's
I
right.
love that. Well, look, man, I really appreciate you doing this. I think this is going to be awesome for our audience. You got the courage that we look for on this show, and I hope that your story motivates my audience, but also other athletes, other entertainers that come
Yeah.
out and be like, hey, man, if Urlacher can do this, I can be fearless too. So thanks for joining us, brother.
Yeah, man, I appreciate you. You see it happen. You see some more and more people, especially after Charlie Kirk, you see it turning more and more our direction, and people are getting confident and starting to stand up, which is going to keep happening. But thanks for having me on, Gates. I appreciate
Amen,
it,
brother. All right, man. See ya.
We the people. Why you quiet? It's time to stand up for the truth. And they coming for our kids, so who gon' stand up for the youth? Ay, and we know we win because Yeshua is the proof. Ay, we the people like Gates, Garcia, so that's no excuse.